Let's give it a second. Alrighty. How's it looking, Mum?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, welcome everybody to She's of Love. And today we have a new guest on the show. Though she's not new to us. We've known Jane for a very long time.
Yeah.
We're very excited to have you on, Jane. So I'm going to open this up as we always do and ask you a very big question. And that is, what is your awakening story?
Yeah, I touched upon that with Claudia not some time ago, and I can't really pinpoint it. Just always a feeling of not quite fitting into this world rather than anything else. And my journey of awakening was more of a journey of healing, I think, healing within, healing my inner child, to then actually become who I am in order to kind of get a real grip of what's going on in this world that I'm living in. And now that I'm kind of there, I think it's quite. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and it's quite to think that I've grown up in a world full of lies, really, and to part of me being here now, it's as much as I think, oh my God, what's going on in this world? It's quite exciting because I know the old school, which we believed anybody that was on TV, anybody on the radio, your parents, your teachers, what they said just went. And now seeing that, it was all a little bit of a big lie. And coming out of it on the other side, making up my own mind, researching myself. Now, of course, with the internet, we didn't have that back then. You can, and make up your own mind and follow the people you want to follow and surround yourself with people that you want to be surrounded with. And I mean, I sometimes go out and come back and I'm exhausted. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
socialized too much today. I need to kind of have my alone time again. So yeah, it's just.
Jane, do you think having the internet at our disposal now, because you and I are similar ages and we grew up in similar decades.
Yeah.
So having the internet now, do you think that's made a big difference to waking
Definitely.
up to the lies that we're being told?
Definitely. I mean, mine, my really waking up to it all was when COVID started, because as soon as they came out with it, I was like, there's no way. And having the tools, i.e. the internet, to actually look deeper and listen to other people speak, and not just anybody, scientists and doctors,
Yes.
that weren't backed by funding, that knew there was something wrong, and they got silenced, and we were all called the conspiracy theorists, and and you had to be really careful who you spoke to too, because they'd look at you like, you're an idiot, what are you talking about? That's not true, that's not what they're saying. And then you go, oh, okay, you're not there yet. I want to have that conversation with you then. Yeah, I definitely think. I think if we would have had that when we were younger, we would have been wiser sooner, I think, definitely. Because even if you go back to when they started talking about aliens and the ships and stuff, and people just thought we were crazy. People were crazy talking about it. And now you have all these whistleblowers come up. And it is, I mean, look at Dr. Greer. I mean, one of my faves, he's been researching and investigating this all his life, really. And it's nice to see these people that have given their life to look into these lies and these cover-ups, to actually now be credited with the work they've done, definitely.
Yeah, it's like once people started to realize there's more to the story, like that, more to the story than what we've been told.
Hmm.
I feel like people like Dr. Greer had a platform then because
Yes,
people were willing to listen. And it's
yes,
like what you just said, Jane, when you tried to talk to people about it, they were like, that's not true. That's not what they're
yes,
saying.
yes.
So you get shut down. And so people like Dr. Greer didn't really have a platform that they could
Yeah, I
speak, or
mean,
because
look
people
at
weren't believing
David
it.
Icke. Look at
Yeah.
David Icke. It's the same with him. You know, they all thought he was crazy, and he was
Yeah.
right all along. You know.
Were you living in the UK when that all happened with David Icke? Because
Oh,
in Australia,
mm,
we didn't really get the full story of how it all happened. The only reason I am really aware of his story is because being married to Spencer, he was in the UK when that happened. And
yeah,
when he went, that whole, he went on the talk show and they laughed him off the stage kind of thing. So
yes, yes.
were you
Yeah,
aware
no,
of
I
that?
don't think, no, when he first came out, I wasn't aware um of him as much as I have been aware through my awakening stages,
Yeah.
which I would say probably in the last 10 years, starting to hear things and yeah, and get more into, these conspiracy theorists, which I quite
Yeah,
like. You cannot make an informed decision if you don't hear both sides of the story. And
that's
we've
right.
just been fed one side of the story for so long. But I must say, I've now realized I can speak to more people now about things. And it
Mm,
seems like people are in masses kind of going, oh my gosh, this is really happening. This,
Mm.
they were lying to us. This is happening. Even now, I mean, we've got quite a few rallies going on in London, in Birmingham, and still the media, you don't hear anything in the news. You don't hear,
Mhm.
because I'll go to somebody, oh, did you hear about this rally in London and the new one that's coming up in September? So, no, no, you don't
mm.
hear about it, but it's going on. So anybody listening that's out there and that is finally, I am proud to see our men starting to stand up for us and our children and say, no, we're not taking this anymore, because it's taken them
Mhm.
quite a while to actually do so, you know?
Yeah. So the way it happened in Australia, and I don't know if you remember this, Juliet, but any kind of protesting that went on, any any kind of pushback, anybody who was saying, this out in public, I'm talking about, who was
Mm,
saying, I'm not having it, I'm standing up for myself, I'm standing up for the children, I'm standing up for women, I'm standing up for the old people. Any men who did that, they got cut down by police
yeah.
in the crowd.
Mm, hmm.
So it was a very targeted,
Yes,
I'll say attack, because that's how it looked to
yes,
me.
yeah.
It was like any man who was,
Like they
they
were
picked,
briefed. Mm,
yeah, the police were, it was a strategy that they used. They were picking on old people and they were picking on women with children.
mm,
And they did that deliberately to get the alpha males to come out of the crowd straight away. And then they arrested those men
those. Mm,
to
mm.
try and
Oh,
get
yeah.
weaken the crowd, and
Yes.
they filmed the whole thing, um, and put it up on social media, and they didn't put it on mainstream media.
Mm,
The mainstream media made it sound like these protesters were crazy people, unruly people, and a lot of the public who was very entrenched in current affairs and believed wholeheartedly and blindly believed the news
yeah.
they were against the protests. Actually, they didn't support people who were speaking up and saying, this is not, we don't want this in our
Want
country, we
this?
don't want
Yes.
this.
Yes. Yes.
And so they orchestrated it so people would be afraid. So
Mm,
the alpha males who would stand up and protect the weaker ones were targeted.
yeah.
and that the support from the public was diminished. And I mean, it was incredible to watch it, actually, because
Yes,
growing up in the 80s, in the 70s and 80s, protesting was a right of the public.
exactly, exactly. Yes, and it's
Yeah,
peaceful protest. I mean,
yeah,
here, some of them were arrested for flying the English flag. Like
yeah,
you heard it.
right.
Mm,
It's like, but I'm in England, you know.
yeah.
And this, I don't know if you heard it over there yet, but we had this school where they had a culture day, and everybody was supposed to come in and talk about their country and culture. And this girl came in with a Spice Girl flag dress and was going to talk about England and her culture and what is good about England, and was shut down by the teacher and the head
Wow.
teacher. Yes, so that's gone viral. Needless to say, yeah.
Mm,
Wow. It's so interesting to see the way things are evolving. And during, like, since 2020, the last 5 years, that what I've been watching on social media,
Mm.
and it's clear to me, and I'd like to get your take on this, Juliet. It's clear to me that what's happening on social media and what's happening in the greater world, like in the real world, are very, very different. It's like
Oh,
this,
yeah. Mm.
it's like this narrative that's happening on social media and in on the internet
Mm.
mm,
is that it's very scripted, and it's trying to drive the opinion in the real world. Because
yeah,
during the Biden administration, there was so much talk on the internet about the LGBTQ community, and there was outrage amongst parents to do with how their children were being taught in schools about the LGBTQ community, thought that it was inappropriate to
Oh, I
be
thought so
teaching
too. Oh,
children.
oh, yes.
Yeah. So and now the Biden administration has ended, and we don't hear about it
You hear
anymore.
about it anymore? No, no, you don't. You don't.
So it's just
Comes
interesting
and
to
goes.
me how this story, how a story becomes, it comes off the screen from the internet and comes to your living room and then comes into your life. So
mm.
it feels very manipulated to me. What do you
Well,
think, Juliet?
it
I
is,
want to
yeah.
get your take on that.
Well, I'm I believe that my generation, there's so much feedback from the government and their propaganda, and from corporations and their propaganda and their advertising and their subliminal messaging. There's so much with social media nowadays. Um, it feels like it's really hard to navigate this world with how much is getting thrown at us, especially through
Mm,
social media.
Mm.
And I think we're just trying to navigate what we feel is right, and what, because like anyone that I talk to, um on any side, well, not well, like most people that I talk to my age, particularly those with the more progressive, like if you want to say extreme left kind of side of things, they really just want acceptance for everyone. Like their heart is always in the right place. I think
yeah.
with everything to do with, I understand that it goes sometimes in extremes, but I really do feel that my generation is just trying to navigate it with the tools that we have. And social media is like so overstimulating. We have
Oh,
feedback
information
about,
overload. Mm.
yeah,
Mm,
like stuff thrown at us about what we should look like,
Oh,
how much
yeah.
we should weigh, the beauty standards that are about, and we're waking up to this, like especially women in my generation, particularly, like we don't care anymore. And I think it's like that pendulum swinging it's been over here for so long. We've been serving men for so long. We've been serving the patriarchy for so long. We've been serving these giant corporations for so long and suppressing ourselves that we are going to go to the other extreme. And I understand governments also latch onto that, and they're manipulating things and finding a way to still take power. But I think we're still navigating it, and we're like, we're not falling for it anymore. We're like, at least in my circles, like we're always, I, we shop at thrift stores or at small businesses when we can. I mean, sometimes it's hard to shop sustainably with businesses and like brands, particularly because they are quite expensive. People try and shop smaller brands that are more sustainable, locally owned. Like we really are fighting in these small ways every day. I know I am, and I know a lot of my friends are as well. And this is at least what I see, and this is what I see in social media. And I have hope that, we're gonna balance this out. And I think this like political thing with like the left and the right, I think it's all just, it's so sad to see people get so worked up and angry about it. And I think we really just gotta focus on what makes these corporations lose. Because if we're fighting each other, then they win. If we're like fighting about things that don't matter in the big picture, then they win. Like it really annoys me actually. It really, really annoys me when people on both sides, like on the right and then on the left too, when they're poking at each other, and it's like, guys, shut up and look who's winning right now. Who's winning in this argument? Like, no matter what, if you're fighting for a political party and you're like, then they win. Then they win. Like, we need to create a new way of life. And I really do think it's being destroyed right now. And people think the world's ending, like genuinely. People think the world's ending. It's like, guys, the world's not ending. It's just we, our societal ways of being aren't able to run anymore. They're not sustainable. They're killing us all. We can't afford to live. Like this thing called money that we're all slaving around for. We don't have enough life force in us anymore because it's being pushed so much. I watched this video yesterday of this guy talking about, because there was this trend on the internet about like, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't tell anyone, but there would be signs, and then people talking about how they would buy a farm, and then they would buy, like animals and stuff. And this guy was like, if I won the lottery, I would just buy paper towels. I would just go pay off my fines. I would just go grab like fast food. Like, and he was talking like, because he can't afford these things now. Like people are slaving away, working ridiculous hours just to scrape by life. And that's not a sustainable way of being. And before, I know when you guys were growing up, it was still definitely a thing, but it was a much smaller percentage and you could kind of work your way out of it. Whereas now, particularly, I feel like America in particular, at least from what I've seen and heard from my friends who live there and such, it's a much larger pool of people that are like struggling. And so it's making us reinvent ways of living. Like that's why people are living in vans so much more. Like you see how van life has blown up completely. And then you have, so many backpackers and people traveling around and, doing more trades. Like, so like I just did this. I mean, it was horrible, but I traded work and volunteer hours in for a place to live and for food. So like that's becoming more of a thing and more normalized now. So I don't know. I have hope. I see it in my circle of friends and in the way that people are around me and in my age. I think people are just scared. We don't know what's coming next. I don't know what this new system is going to be. I think it's going to be a trade. I think it's going to go back to kind of the roots of humanity,
Right.
but like with this modern technology twist or something. I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm not worried. I know it's going to work out, and I'm actually excited to see how it unfolds. But I just wish people stopped arguing about these little nuances and instead just was like, how about we stop buying from Tesco and we start growing our own food? And if you can't grow your own food, then gaining access somehow to more localized vegetables, community gardens, or, you know, whatever. Like these are the things that we need to work on. So
Yes.
that's my very long-winded answer.
Yeah.
Sorry, that took like
And
10, 15
no,
minutes.
that's fine. But you're right, and that is a sustainable way of living.
Mm,
It's we've you go to school, they teach you how to add, subtract, and
yeah,
algebra and all that stuff that you never ever use, but they don't know how to grow tomatoes or how to make a fire or how to
no,
build a shelter when you need one. Those are the important things. But because we, of course, live in this this world of money and who has more and who has the most. And I mean, for you guys, I feel, it must be so hard for you guys in your age, and of course my daughters are around your age too. You grew up with that as little children. You were
yeah,
brainwashed that this is the way you should live and this is what you need to have to mean somebody, to have meaning in life. You have to have a
yeah,
portion, this and that and the other. So I take my hat off to you and those alike that can now make that switch and kind of go, no, again, this is all fabricated. This is not real
mm,
life.
yeah,
This is not sustainable. It just isn't. Come back to
Mm.
your roots and
yeah,
surround
yeah,
yourself
Yeah,
with
and
people, your tribe.
yeah,
And there's so many, I don't know if you've noticed, even on Facebook, people just coming up saying, oh, I do woodwork, I do this, I do gardening, I've got my van and my little dog, I just need a place to stay. So if you have a land and need help, give me a shout. And more people are doing it. But that's the
yeah,
kind of life. I mean, I could easily just go, oh yeah, bye. I'm living on a
yeah,
farm now.
yeah,
I'm
mm,
yeah,
feeding the chickens in the morning. I'd love that.
yeah,
To me, that's life with nature
yeah,
and living with the land, like the indigenous people did, and the true Americans, Indians
yeah,
did, and not wasting it, not killing it, you know,
yeah,
mm,
with all this
yeah,
yeah,
industrial bullshit. And now we've got
yeah.
AI coming.
I know.
I mean,
yes,
that's going to be even worse. That's
Oh,
like industrial revolution times 1,000.
it's even
yeah,
worse now. Like everyone's using it for. I see. I'm going to put it out there. I am against AI. I think convenience is the killer of everything. Like, look at convenience and what it's done to our world. Like, convenience food alone,
Oh, don't.
the amount of millions of people that's killed through obesity, like, it's just unreal.
Yes.
So, like, I'm against convenience. That being said, I still have a smartphone. I
yes,
still
Of course.
use it,
Yeah.
but like, I
Yeah.
don't
You
use
can't
AI. I
even, you
turn
can't
off.
live without it anymore,
Yeah, I mean,
really.
I'm living by myself. I need Google Maps. I need,
Yeah,
these things.
exactly. Oh,
Um,
I need it from here to the next town, darling. You're
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
Scotland.
So, yeah, but I don't know. I think AI is really, I mean, we're already treading on such thin ice, but I think
Oh, we are. Yes,
AI is just like, it
yes.
scares me how much people use it for everything,
Oh, look
yeah,
at
for like,
Chat GPT. I mean,
yeah.
it's doing everything. It's writing business plans. It's writing
Mm,
essays. So there's no thinking that goes into anything anymore
no,
because they don't even think for themselves anymore.
no,
So we've got
yeah,
AI now. We've got AGI coming out, or it's already there. Then we've got
yeah.
ASI, which is artificial superintelligence, and that's when the artificial superintelligence will take over.
Oh,
It'll program itself to do things. It's just,
yeah.
um yeah.
It's horrible. Also, why are we not putting this effort into quantum computers? hello,
Yeah.
like, because that needs to be the direction. Like, if we're going to go with intelligence, why are we not looking more into that? Like, because quantum computers are like crazy, but they use like universal, like quantum stuff, and it actually, I mean, the things, I haven't looked into it that much, but it's way more, it feels way better to me than this artificial intelligence stuff. Like,
Intelligence. Mm.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I have so many
Yeah,
people
it
that
is
just,
scary. It's just taken
yeah,
away again from just people being people and just
yeah, people
becoming,
like
they
ask,
become the machine, using the machine,
yes,
you know,
and they
and
they ask
believe
it,
everything it says.
yeah, and they
Yeah.
ask it questions like it's some kind, like, oh, I asked chat GPT what I should do today, and so or
Oh, I
like,
know. I
I
mean, how
it's
sad
like,
is that?
why don't you like ask yourself?
Self, yes,
Yes, ask
exactly.
yourself.
But that's what it does. It's so mind numbing. They can't even
Yeah,
come up with simple answers. What shall I do
yeah,
today? Or let me ask Chat GPT. Yeah.
like,
Um,
what?
yeah, it's unreal.
Yeah, I'm
But like
definitely
you
going to
said,
be,
I do hope that, you know, because once this all started, I just thought, oh my God, our children, oh, our poor children, they're going to have to live in all this. Um,
yeah,
but it's nice to see that a lot of you are going more the natural way, are going more, no, I don't
yeah,
have to be this way. I don't have to have
yeah,
the lips and the, you know,
yeah.
and it's just not natural. It's not the way we're supposed to live, period.
No,
You
I
know?
think, I really do think a lot of us know that. I think it's getting to a
Yeah,
point where it's, you know, it's getting so ridiculous where you either fall into the group that's just being like, yeah, okay, whatever, we're this far in, may as well just keep going.
going.
Or then you have other people that are just like, what? What
Mm,
do you mean? And
yeah,
yeah, I know so many pe people, like all my friends say if we have kids, no phones till like you're a teenager and you have
yes.
some, yeah, I know I would be doing that
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Well, have you seen the clips where they take away the iPhone from a little child and it
Mm,
has just this super tantrum and they go, well, she won't stop, so I'll just give it back to her. I mean,
yeah,
it's yeah, yeah. It's sad. They just become the parent, the babysitter, and the stuff they
mm,
see at such an early age. You know, it's just how can
yeah,
they decide what is real, what is not? I mean, I now even look and go, is that a real? Or I say to Nineveh, oh, have you seen this? She goes, oh, mum, it's AI. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
okay. I can't tell the difference anymore.
yeah,
So,
Mm.
yeah.
yeah.
Well, on that topic, I work in a in Australia. It's called a
Mum,
shop.
your microphone is a bit fuzzy. Could you
I don't know if
uh
it's in and out for some reason. Is
oh,
that
there
There
you
you
go.
better?
go. There you go. You're back.
Yeah. So I work in a shopping centre in
Mm,
Australia. In America, it's called a mall, and s- every time I'm in the shop where I'm working, there's kids outside in the hallways of the shopping center screaming and crying, and it happens every day. Every
mm,
shift that I'm in that store, there's a kid crying outside, and it's
mm.
because the lights, the music, the amount of people that are in the shopping center, it's all so overwhelming for a child's nervous system. So, of course, parents can't go shopping sometimes without bringing the kids. They have to bring their
Mm,
kids with them. But it's not conducive to how humans are supposed to live
no.
with all this stimulation around them.
Yeah.
And so it's like this vicious circle because the parents are like, well, I'll give them the phone or the iPad or whatever, to keep them their attention on
Tension.
the
Yes.
on the device so that
Yeah.
they can
They
do their
can.
shopping. And
Yeah. They're like in a bubble then, aren't they? And nothing else can
that's
touch
right,
them.
because
Mm,
the place where they're taking them to this mall is not it's so overwhelming for their little nervous system that they can't process everything that's going on around them.
Yeah.
There's all this temptation, like they're in the shops and there's lollies everywhere. There's bright colored games and toys and, there's all this, I don't know what you call it, like shopping that gets their attention. It's the marketing of those items. And then their parent, they want everything. I want this, I want that, I want this. And the parent's like, no, you can't have it. You can't have it. You can't have it. And
It's
so on
like
top
taking
of
you to the candy shop and you can't have a candy. Yeah, it
that's
is.
right.
It is. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Where the children really should be out in nature.
That's
They should
right.
be running around in woods and listening to the birds sing. And because there, even though there's a lot going on, it stimulates the senses rather than what they see,
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's too overwhelming for them.
Yeah, bless them.
And so it's like we've built a world in which our humanness, our natural way of being is squashed.
Yes, absolutely.
And we grow up like that in cities. We grow up that way in the city. And we think that it's normal.
Yeah.
Are you all right, Jay?
Yeah, sorry. I thought there was someone out the window.
Oh.
There's not. There's not. There's not. There's not. Sorry.
Good.
There's a window right here and it leads out to the front street. So, and if there was someone at the window, they would be like off the road looking through. And so I thought for a second, but then it's
yeah, I could see, because I know you, I could see you looking. I was like, oh,
something's going on.
There's something going on over
God.
there.
Yeah,
Mama instinct coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all is not bad. I mean, it is, I find it quite fascinating. I love the fact that I can watch what I want to watch now instead of what they tell me to watch, like you were saying on your podcast the other day. I can choose what I let come in, and you can't help but come across a few bits. And then there's some really funny bits out there now too, when they're mocking all these governments, and it's quite funny. But yeah, it's all a bit strange, but you just have to kind of keep to yourself, I think, and be true to yourself, and know yourself well enough what the triggers are. Mine are, if I'm around too many people for too long of a time, I get quite anxious and I'm like, oh, okay, I've got to go now. I'm going. Oh, you going already, Jenny? Yeah, I'm going. I'm tired. I can't. It's overstimulating to me because I quite like my own company as well. So I don't need to have people in and out of my life constantly. I'm quite happy.
How wonderful, Jane, that you know that about yourself, though. Like, that's beautiful self-awareness. That you're in a space and you start to feel overwhelmed and you understand why you're feeling overwhelmed, and you can do that for yourself. You can remove yourself from that feeling of overwhelm.
It took me a while to get there. Again, it's my path of healing, my path of awakening, and knowing me enough to know that this is what's good for me and this is not what's good for me, and I'm not going to feel guilty to say no, and stop being this yes person that I've been all my life, this person that always has to fix everything and fix everybody, and and forget about me and just get on. So that's changed quite a bit, and I'm quite happy.
So our group is called, as you know, it's called She's of Love, and we have a lot of women who come on our podcast. And that's the overwhelming message that I'm getting over the last 3 years since we started doing this, is that women are starting to realize that they don't have to be people pleasers anymore. And I think this is like a huge message to put out there for women of our age, women of any age, Juliet's generation and younger, that to be worthy, to be listened to or to be accepted into society doesn't go hand in hand with saying yes all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And I think that was a huge thing growing up for me too in my family as well, having a narcissistic mother. So I was taught that I was there for her. I was her, I don't know, like trophy child.
Yes.
And for me to be loved, I needed to be agreeable to other people because that's how she raised me.
Yeah.
And then realizing actually my cup is empty and I really need to learn how to fill it myself
Fill it
because
up. Exactly.
I wasn't able, other people couldn't fill it for me. And, you know, having children was a huge part of that for me, realizing that, you know, if I don't learn how to do it, I can't teach my kids how to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you learn so much with once you have a child, don't you? Because I think that love you feel for a child is a love that you should feel for yourself as well.
Yes.
You know, you've got to have that love for yourself. And it's hard for some people to love each other. I mean, you know, with all my faults, with the things I've done in my life that I'm not proud of, you know, with the ups and downs of my life, I can genuinely say I love myself.
Yeah, beautiful.
Not in a cheesy way or whatever, but I you know, I love Jane. You know,
Yeah.
I live with her on a daily basis, and trust me, I didn't always love her. Does my head in sometimes, but I love her. Yeah, yeah. It's like having a kid, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love you, but don't like you today. So,
Are you chatting shit about me?
yeah, come here. There's Nineveh. Come here. Say hello to Georgia. This is my daughter, everyone.
Hey!
And there's
Hi.
where's Juliet? Well, we can't see
I
her.
just walked into my mum saying lovely things about me.
No, it wasn't about me. No, you're lovely,
That's
darling.
perfect timing.
I know. No, she is. She's taught me a lot. You know, having her has taught me a lot about love and selflessness and, you know, and joy and all the bits that, you know, going back and healing that inner child of yours, which we, I think, all kind of have to do. Yeah, it's taught me a lot because, you know, I can now love that little child as well. So
yeah, so
yeah.
important. I love that. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jane, for coming on today. Are we
Oh.
at time, Juliet?
Yeah, we're
Yeah, I
at
thought
time.
so.
Yeah. Oh no, it's been lovely to see you guys. Maybe we'll come to Australia one day. See you.
Yes, please do.
Yes.
I know
You're
Nineveh
always
keeps wanting
welcome.
to. Oh, it's lovely to
Would
see
be
you
great.
guys.
And Jane,
Oh.
will you come back on again another time with us?
Yeah, sure. Why not? It'd be nice just to catch up, really.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I love that.
No, it was wonderful, wonderful to see you. And you know, good luck going forward with what you do. I think it's fantastic. And I've
Thank you.
started watching you from day one, and it's quite strange that we knew each other such a long time ago, but yet our awakening has brought us together again, hasn't it? Somehow.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you take care. Have a lovely time
You
in
too,
Thank
Scotland.
you
Jane.
so much.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.